everybody, welcome to Law Ready for This, the internet's foremost VGHS recap, analysis, review, deep dive, step-by-step learning instructional
deep dish
roundtable
podcast.
discussion.
Yeah. This is a historical discussion. There will be footnotes in the description. I am Danny. We are joined by...
Grant. Yeah.
And
Grants.
Solomon.
All right.
I wanted to introduce the other guy too.
Yeah. This is going to be a
Solomon,
fucking
too.
disaster.
He's
Thank you,
excited.
Grant. Danny's also here.
We have our editor Wendell in the booth.
Thanks,
He's going to be
Wendell.
checking this out, making
Wendy.
sure everything goes.
Wendy.
Wendeed.
Do you like deep dish pizza, Danny?
I love it.
What about you, Grant?
I'm a fan of deep dish pizza.
I love deep dish piss. I love petri dish piss, bro.
Dude. Yes. Fuck yes.
So for those of you who don't know, VGHS is it. It's fucked. I'm gonna have to edit this shit.
It's already coming out so good though.
Dude, this
What
is
would you
great.
cut?
This is gold.
Okay, so VGHS is Video Game High School. It is a web series. The YouTube giants Rocket Jump. It was kickstarted, semi-self-funded, released. What year? Like 2012?
Yeah.
maybe.
I think 2013.
Yeah.
Okay, well,
I should have put that in my notes.
yeah,
but I
we
didn't.
didn't do. As you can tell, the research level on this podcast is phenomenal.
We watched it.
We did
That's
watch
what
it.
counts.
Yeah, I have no qualms about saying that I did in fact watch it.
What's
I
it?
watched it.
You have a favorite psalm?
Yeah,
What's your favorite?
the one
I
where
like 313.
what's the one that
Jesus
Gangsta
is the
Paradise does?
That's 212.
Walk through the. Is it actually 212?
Mhm.
Walk through the.
Gangsta Paradise by Coolio.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's 212.
Walk through the
Psalms
valley of the
212.
shadows of death. Yeah.
Right, as I look out my life.
So.
Yeah.
We're
418.
gonna
Nice song.
we're gonna do.
Yeah, it's a good song.
We're going to do episode by episode recaps of Video Game High School. We are the Video Game High School equivalent of Talking Dead, Beyond Stranger Things.
Call me Chris Hardwick.
Yeah, I don't want to call you that.
Call me Chris Hardwick.
All right, Chris.
Chris.
And we're going to talk about episode by episode the best things and the worst things about VGHS, as if there are worse things.
This show is golden.
It is gold.
I'm going to start out with saying it's fucking
So
10 out of 10.
I'm going to spit a little synopsis. Feel free to interrupt me if you have things you want to add.
Spit it, bro.
All right. So in the first episode, we get
Got a sound.
introduced to our boy, main character, Brian.
Brian.
Heavy end, Brian D. We open on what just seems to be the war in Iraq.
Yeah.
But people are pixelated when they die.
Yes.
And they're yelling at each other. People are dying. Don't know what's going on. And then they just say, "Where's Brian D?" And we see this motherfucker on a bike
The fucking goat.
just rolling by. And then he gets beat up by some kid named K-pop,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who's
who is
chugging
who's
milk
drinking a half gallon of milk
A half gallon of milk, yes.
and wearing 3D glasses.
and
Yes.
wearing and his world is 4D. I'm convinced.
He's asked her.
The fourth D is digital.
It's on another level. K-pop.
And he steals what I assume is Brian's blockchain. I don't know.
It's the biggest flash drive I've ever seen in my life.
It is. It's a flash drive
Huge.
multi-tool. It's you just like
I thought it was a weapon when he first pulled it out. It's been a while since I've seen it. I was
resources.
like, wow.
He's gonna gut him. And then people in the game continuing to die. You know, as
Also, they're all
things-
from Canada.
They are. Well, they're all playing.
Canadian, yeah.
The other team I think was Italy.
Yes.
I wanted-
Notorious enemies.
Yeah,
Classic. I forgot about the
realized that
Canadian
they were.
Italy war.
Yeah, well, the Italians I think were on the side of Osama bin Laden.
The Sunni.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Sunni. Yeah. No, Osama he was Shia.
Oh, like a Shia pet?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Brian finally gets to the computer and he frags the fuck out of these three losers, these three dweebs. He
Typical
shoots them.
Friday.
And then he has to go put his cat out.
Yes.
We're skipping over the in real life.
Oh my god, you're right.
Yeah, that's
I'm
right,
skipping
yeah.
over. Well, first of all, the news is going by. It's intercut.
Yeah.
The president has somehow been kidnapped in this
Well,
show.
that's after he.
Oh, you're right. Sorry, it's
John,
IRL
you're-
first.
yeah,
I'm
it's
like,
IRL first.
so
We got to talk about iJustine.
yeah, I
So
do. I literally have that.
Do not
written down.
forget about iJustine.
I have that written down actually.
That was one of the two things you
Everybody-
wrote down was iJustine.
One of them was iJustine. This is the real star of this show.
Yes.
So we have IRL, which I think is a TRL joke in 2013.
I didn't even put that one together.
I think it is, yeah.
But and then in comes this guy in a hoodie. His name is The Law,
The best character.
and he'll always be with you.
Yeah.
Thank you. And he is the greatest FPS player of all time.
I'm going to say the casting for it, like, he looks like the uncoolest guy in the entire world, but he's somehow the coolest guy in the entire show.
Oh yeah, he is without a doubt the greatest. Not only the greatest character.
It's like a young Tim
He's-
Heidecker.
He's the greatest archetype. The Law is now in the Commedia dell'arte. He is now an archetype. He is the Law. So the Law goes into what he calls a pub stop, which is when he enters a public server and takes on the noobs, and that happens to be Brian's server that he's playing in, while Brian is away putting his cat out.
Cheeto.
Cheeto.
Classic Cheeto.
I'm
Classic
glad you took
Cheeto.
that note.
Oh, yeah. Love Cheeto.
So Brian goes to put his cat out. He is
Literally throws
he's
the
AFK.
cat.
Yeah, he yeets the cat out the house. And the Law is currently in game. They restack the team, so it's everybody against the Law, and everybody dies. It is like the Battle of the Somme. There is no survivors.
No irony, it's actually pretty badass.
Oh, it's great.
Yeah.
The fight choreography is fantastic.
It's dope as hell.
And so finally he sees that Brian is there kind of AFK, and he says, well, let's have some fun with him. So the Law puts a grenade on his head and is going to 180, no look, shoot the grenade on Brian's head. Brian gets back from putting out the cat and grabbing a Hot Pocket. Most non-brand specific
Gamer
pizza
food.
sandwich in pocketed thing, and he backs up so the grenade falls off of his head, which is not a move I've ever seen in an FPS in real life. And then he melees the grenade toward the Law. Matrix mode, bullet dodges the Law's shot and shoots the grenade.
Boom.
Wow.
The Law does a lot of
Incredible.
taunts before this.
He
How
does.
many
Oh, yeah.
taunts do you think are in this game? Because he does like 10 different ones, and then it cuts to FPS, like first person mode. All
All of a
He's
sudden,
just
out
like,
of nowhere, yeah.
Yeah. And then Brian D is proclaimed the Law killer. And the world goes crazy. Like I said, the president is kidnapped and they just cut away. They don't give a shit anymore.
Oh, no.
Pwn Zone.
Somebody killed the Law. Pwn Zone came in.
Pwn.
Pwnbot.
It's a shotbot, actually.
Shotbot.
I had to make a note of that. Big fan of shotbot.
I am a
There you
big
go.
fan of Shotbot, but I just lost his name.
Wow, that's a good name.
We'll talk about
They only say it
Shotbot
once, and it's
more
very quick.
Yeah.
as the show progresses, because he becomes a very important character. later
Yes.
Just a brief appearance here.
on. But
The agreement corner. I'm also
The
a fan of
agreement-
the agreement
Oh,
corner.
that's
so
great.
Good
we'll
bit.
talk about at the end of the synopsis we're going to talk about our favorite
Wait.
and least favorite bits.
We skipped over my favorite bit of like the whole episode, really,
Okay.
which is the bullies jump onto a bike that's a hover bike all of a sudden,
Yeah.
and then say, "See you tomorrow, forever." That's the best part of the whole. I think the series really peaks there for
It's
me,
pretty badass.
as a whole,
Okay.
See you tomorrow.
I mean,
early
forever.
peak.
because there's a regular bike, so just the fact that this one's a hover bike and a tandem hover bike, that's groundbreaking.
Well,
Yeah, 2013 was wild.
That's why Rocket Jump is the future of film, as the past
Honestly,
few years
yeah.
have clearly shown us.
well, they did have a Hulu show and you didn't.
They had
so-
2 Hulu shows.
Two of those shows.
I watched one of
What
them.
was the second one?
Dimension 404, exactly.
Yeah, I didn't watch that one.
exactly.
No idea.
I met Freddie Wong in real life.
If you
so
made
guys
that up
can
right
fucking
now,
search.
I would have no clue.
It's real.
Dimension
assure you.
404.
Dimension 404.
Sounds great.
So the world goes crazy. Brian is now a super celebrity, and he gets accepted to the prestigious Boarding Academy video game high school because the name could not be more descriptive. And he,
What else would you call it?
I don't know, something cool.
Exactly. No,
Call
video
it
game
Elite-
high school.
Elite-
There's
Elite
not
Pwners-
multiple. Well,
Elite Pwners Academy.
yeah, no. You see that's the name that they
Joystick
probably
Academy.
drafted on the board.
They put it on the board and they said, we're striking that one. It's a
yikes.
little too millennial for
Netflix
us.
isn't going to pick up
Yeah.
Elite Pwners.
They will pick up Elite Painters.
That sounds like a great show.
That's what I'm saying. Head-to-head painting. So Brian is accepted to Video Game High School,
Which is run by the guy that.
which is run by
From
Epic
Epic
Meal
Meal
Yes,
Man.
Epic Mealtime.
And
Do I know? Do you guys know his name? I don't.
it's
ever-
It's Harley.
Or
Harley,
Harley.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Beard guy.
Yeah. And
I always forget he's in this show.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like,
I'm pretty sure he didn't know as well.
he's just playing himself. And so Brian says goodbye to his cat, gives a heartfelt goodbye to Cheeto,
Rest in peace.
and then
He says he wanted to be on a VGSH team ever since he was E for everyone.
yeah, which is a
Good
great
bit.
good bit.
That's a great line.
I
We
was
can all
watching this
relate.
show with somebody, and she actually physically laughed out loud at that, and I was like, "That's
That's a serious moment.
a good moment."
Good
Yeah.
bit.
And then Brian kisses his mom's football helmet goodbye,
Yeah,
Yes.
the beer holder
And-
football helmet.
and she says, "Where are you going?" And he says,
Well, this is also
"Video
the
game high
mom's
school."
portrayal is so bizarre because it's just kind of
Yeah.
so tossed off and
So-
just two shots.
So that's the end of the synopsis. So now we'll discuss all of the other things. Yes, the mom is.
what is it? What are they even trying to say with that?
He's coming from a tough life. You know, is what it's.
And she's also a gamer though. 'cause
Yeah,
she's
but
playing
it's-
some games.
it's
He's a
like-
gamer.
It's like
She's hooked.
I drink beer, but it's like the equivalent of having an alcoholic mother. I think
Okay.
is like they
Exactly.
both play games, but she has a problem.
All right.
And now he gets this opportunity at VGHS. You know, it's a beautiful come up story, honestly.
Yeah.
And it's kind of weird that it's not the actual VGHS isn't even in this episode. I kind of
No,
forgot about
no.
that. I thought for sure he at least it ended with him at the school, but it
Here's
was with him just
I'm
walking out the
trying
front
to
door.
remember if because I rewatched this show on Netflix kind of recently. I'm trying to remember if they edited the 10-minute episodes
I've been
into
watching
20
it on
minutes.
YouTube. I know it's on. It's still in 10-minute.
Wow, it's
chunks
still
on
up.
YouTube. Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's where I watched it. Where did you watch it?
I watched it on Netflix. I rewatched it on Netflix. Originally watched it on YouTube, 12 years ago.
But I'm saying, oh yeah, but did you rewatch it like recently?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah,
on
on
YouTube?
Netflix.
I looked for it on Netflix today.
It's on Netflix.
I must have fucked up somewhere. I
Yeah.
tried to find it. Was it 10-minute episode?
It was like 11 something.
Okay,
Yeah.
so they didn't. I could for some reason I thought they edited it into longer episodes, but not.
I'm pretty sure it was on Netflix.
All right.
I
Well,
watched it on some streaming service via PS4,
okay.
which is pretty appropriate.
It is pretty appropriate. That's video games.
That's
So
games.
yeah, let's talk about I guess our favorite pieces from the episode. You said you really liked the agreement corner.
yeah. I mean, that's just such a small segment, but I like all the fake TV show.
I
things
think
that
I
this-
like the fake TV shows. I really thought the agreement corner gag was terrible.
Well,
I thought it was so lame.
I think that's why I
Maybe.
loved it. It was very cheesy.
It was, but I feel like the rest of the episode has like a very like Teen Wolf 80s teen
Campiness
movie
to
kind of.
it.
But then that one just felt like a
Very
very
2000s.
outdated parody of CNN.
Yeah, yeah. I think it was meant to be a little corny,
Well, yeah. I mean, clearly it was meant to be corny.
Yeah,
I'm
but
saying it
like
wasn't- it
in
didn't
a
work.
term of like unfunny corny.
I think it
Okay.
was short enough to where I still found joy in it. It's not like we had to watch a full like episode of the agreement
Yeah.
corner. That would have been egregious.
Unless Rocket Jump, if you want to put together
Let's
a full
greenlight
episode of the
that.
agreement,
We'll do
Yeah.
a full series on that.
Division 4 agreement corner.
Yeah.
I don't mean to get
Second season
sidetracked,
Dimension 4
but has there ever been a VGHS spinoff?
No, I would like
Freddie
their,
Wong.
they did put the guy who plays Brian in one of their episodes of their Hulu show,
Okay.
Rocket Jump Academy, Rocket Jump Studio.
I think yeah,
I think it's Academy,
maybe. I don't know.
but it's
It
the
might
one-
just be called the Rocket Jump Show.
I think it is just the Rocket Jump show. You're right.
I think I read somewhere online that they thought about doing an animated thing, like
Ooh.
with Video Game High School too,
Ooh,
but
that'd
they
be
never actually did anything with that.
Be
As far as
interesting.
I
Excuse me.
Really interesting.
But yeah, I think that the agreement corner was fine. I do think that the
Really? Because you said it was terrible a second
I
ago.
Yeah, are you sure?
I think it was terrible.
It doesn't sound like we're in the agreement corner right now. Okay. Is that an edit point?
No, that's this is staying in. I do think the news gags are always funny. I think that they continue to get better and better throughout the series.
It at least like looked competent. It didn't look like, I don't know. It looked somewhat professional.
No, it looked like real news.
It looked really good, yeah. And it was funny. Even as like a sophomore / junior in high school, I was like, this is pretty hilarious, you know.
Oh yeah. I think I also really like. I just want to talk about the IRL, which is we now said is a TRL.
Yes.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I think that is the greatest 2-minute characterization of a character ever. Is like those first like bits we hear of the law, and I think that the line that sold it for me is he shoots somebody, and then you cut to him in the studio. He goes, "I once took out a whole family with that move."
I like before that.
Fantastic
He says,
line.
I still feel that rush every time.
Yeah,
I still feel that rush every time. Yeah. No, that's really good.
I love his crowd work.
Oh yeah, he's lay down the. I love this crowd.
Yeah,
He's great. He's a fantastic written character.
Yeah, and it's like it is the best character introduction I think in any piece of media ever. Like you just
100%.
immediately know who that guy is.
Yeah.
And I love him.
He's fantastic.
And Justine is there.
yes,
Yes,
And
the
other
star of the
hosts
show.
are real catty towards her.
Yeah, and like it is weird because like I can't tell if the other two like the law or dislike the law, or if they just dislike Justine.
It seems like they just don't like Justine, but there's literally nothing else for us to go off of other than that like tossed off line.
Yeah. So what else happened back there? I was saying were they?
Yeah.
I think maybe they were fighting over the law, or I don't know. I would like to dig into this.
Let's just break this down.
Now's
Look.
the time to do it.
At Freddie, could you please figure this out for us?
Yeah,
Or
or
go
Brian.
back into your original show notes and tell us. Yeah, I think that the law just is such a great impression immediately, and that's why I think he really carries the whole show.
No, he definitely does.
In the first season, he is
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
only
he's-
reason I'm watching.
Yeah, he's
Yes.
the highlight of the first season.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a good little starter episode.
It is. It's really one of those things that it's like, oh shit, where's episode 2? You know,
Yeah.
like it's cool. I remember being like excited for the next week. You know, when it first came out, like genuinely thinking that this was going to be corny, and then it was corny, but then it was like, oh, it's kind of interesting too.
Yeah,
you know?
I remember being very skeptical.
Exactly.
I remember being like, oh, like gamer school.
Exactly.
This is going to be, you know.
I was like, I'm never gonna tell anybody that I watch VGHS. But then, like, I think somebody in class was like, "You watch VGHS?" I'm like, "Oh, yeah, I do." Like, yeah, it's good. It's good. It's
Yeah.
I think it's genuinely entertaining. It's like a CW show. You know, I could definitely see it on the CW.
I think it's better than any CW show I've watched, honestly. Because I think
That's fair.
I think unlike CW, it doesn't take itself seriously.
Yes, you're right.
I don't know. I feel like a lot of CW stuff, at least now, doesn't take itself that seriously.
They've stopped caring recently. Yeah,
I mean,
Not that I'm gonna be the one here defending.
we're starting
the
a CW podcast.
let's do it.
We're watching Legends of Tomorrow.
Full recap of iZombie.
Oh,
iZombie's great.
I loved
I
iZombie.
fucking
Like iZombie.
love iZombie. It's great. It's fantastic. But this is not the podcast for it.
yeah.
All right.
But it's great.
We gotta do that podcast.
We got to
now.
do that podcast. All right, now back to Army of Two.
Yeah.
So
So there are
Is that
two
the
of-
game they're
there are
playing?
Two of them.
Yeah.
I wish.
I do want
Wait, what's the name of the game?
Field of Fire.
Okay, yeah, that's right. I remember it being something like if I saw that on the shelf of Best Buy, I would just completely skip. You know, I would not buy that shit.
It looked like the cover to me looked like Sniper Elite, where it's just like you clearly got a font off of dafont.com and then like put it in Photoshop with a transparency layer over a picture of fire. And I was like, okay.
Sick, dude.
So I think, I think it's a good starter episode. Really gets us into this world, like you said, like it's kind of futuristic. There's bikes. There's crazy
There's hover bikes,
There's
not just bikes.
hover
hover
bikes. There's giant USBs that steal your social security or some shit.
That's
Your
awesome.
resources.
Your resource. I want to know what that means.
You know your fucking resources. dog.
Showing, not telling.
Dude took my fucking natural gas.
Your non-renewable resources.
Fossil fuels.
Yeah.
Fossil fuels. Shit.
Um.
I'm supposed to get those back.
What I want to do a segment right now.
Oh, segment?
Oh, this show has segments. We're making this up as we go, but it has segments. What I want us to do a segment called Best Frag, where every episode we each pick our favorite kill of the episode. Let's start with Grant.
I mean, I guess it's just Brian killing Law.
I'm sorry, this is a really easy one.
Yeah.
Like as the episodes go on, it'll get better, but that was just so fucking dramatic. What's yours? You're shaking your head no.
I only came with the segment because I don't think this is the best one. No, don't get me wrong. It's
Law's
great.
first kill where he kills that guy mid-sentence?
No,
That's good.
That's a good...
I don't know what it is. I think
That'll translate well
Brian,
to audio.
Yeah.
I can see that, yeah.
Brian dropping the gun, pulling out a pistol, and shooting the dude who falls back off of the ladder. And then he immediately pushes the other guy off, and he Wilhelm screams.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a double kill that truly is fantastic.
That's a good
and
one.
amazing.
That's a good one.
But yeah, I think that's the best part of the whole episode. Honestly, I rewatched this episode 3 times before this podcast, and every time I laughed at the Wilhelm scream.
It's great.
So, but this will get better as we go because there are some
in terms of
fantastic,
everything.
there are some fantastic kills in this series that really make me like want to go play Call of Duty, even though I'm very bad at Call of Duty. You know, they want to make me feel like a gamer, and I do.
I want to point out the literal crickets right now.
Oh, I can hear them. Yeah. For those of you, that is the audience.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't.
You said your favorite line of the series was in this episode?
I thought it was. I took out an entire family with this one.
Oh, okay.
That is very possibly one of my favorite lines in the whole series.
One of mine is definitely, I put some extra food in your bowl. He says it to his mom
Yeah.
as he's leaving.
It's so good.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yikes.
So you said that your favorite whole shot of the whole series.
It was the hoverbike.
It was the hoverbike.
I just love that.
When
I
you
forgot
said-
about it.
When
I
you
was
said
like,
your
oh,
favorite shot, I thought you were like this something artistic.
It is artistic.
Yeah. What the
It's a
hell,
hoverbike,
dude?
man.
It's a hoverbike.
And he says, "See you in tomorrow forever."
See you in tomorrow.
The most
forever.
badass line you could possibly say.
Yeah.
So this is if we were to look at like screenwriting, what?
10 out of 10.
That's not what I was asking.
I don't care.
But like
10 out
the
of 10.
arc, where is this on the arc of like a character?
It's the beginning, man.
Well, yeah, but I mean, how far
This
do you
was
think
the
we get?
inciting incident.
You
was in
think
this
him?
episode.
Well, I mean, him killing the law is the inciting incident,
Yeah.
for sure.
Walk.
And but like it seems like I don't know, like maybe I guess next episode we're talking about is where we get to like acceptance of the journey or whatever, or maybe it's the 3rd episode.
Yeah.
But it is we're tracking. I'm gonna track Brian's character arc over this,
All right.
and we have now seen the point where Brian sees the journey in front of him, and he chooses to accept it.
So
And-
this is the acceptance of journey.
I don't know if this is no because there's 2 points. This is the acceptance of the journey, but then there's the point of no return where you can't turn back, which I think is episode 3. But
Okay.
yeah, so he's going on. He's moving on to VGHS.
VHS.
He's
The
going to
VHS
VHS.
platform.
Did you know
Finally.
he recorded his kills and he sent them to Twin Galaxies on a VHS?
Hey, you had to do what you had to do in
Had to
those
do it.
days.
You know, what is those days?
Those days, man.
2013.
Man, those were
It's
the
a different
days.
era.
Those were
It
the
was a different
days.
era.
We were still
Do you think
using
this show would work
VHS.
now?
I was just about to ask that. I was just because I genuinely don't know. My answer is yes, but with the current writing that it has, no. If that makes sense.
Why?
It's way like you said, it doesn't take itself too seriously, which is good. But it's still on this level of like gamer cheesiness where they're using words like pwn and
Yeah,
like, you know, shit like that. Like they'll definitely have to change up the lingo. I don't think it could be as like mainstream marketed as it is, like a game like, you know, the Call of Duty mock-up that they're playing. I feel like
Yeah.
it would have to be something different. I'm not entirely sure.
Yeah, the games would have to change.
It'd have to be a fucking battle royale or some shit.
It'd have to be and then also it would have to have a legitimate risk, kind of like Sword Art does. You die in the game, you die in real life. That would be a really good catch to bring audiences nowadays in, because I know if this was advertised to me in the year of our Lord and Savior, 2019, I would not watch it. Oh no, I would watch it ironically, but I would not
But
watch
I think
it seriously.
that's the key, right? I think even in 2013, I watched this first episode ironically, and then liked it.
I think it was half and half for me.
Really?
I think it was half irony, half I'm genuinely just only because I, followed Freddie Wong
This is the
pretty
thing.
religiously.
I don't think Rocket Jump or Freddy has the name trade that he did in 2012, 2013.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Like I remember I went and saw him at MagFest, and it was a fantastic panel, actually. One of the best panels I've ever seen.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, that room was like almost empty. And
Yeah.
when it first started, I was like, that's crazy. But it is I think that a lot of it is like we were talking about, like the Smosh movie.
Yeah.
It's not that Smosh doesn't have a following still. I'm sure they do. But I think if they put out the Smosh movie now, people would be like, who? What?
Even when they put it out.
I was
Yeah.
about to say,
Yeah.
when they put it out, I figured out maybe a year afterwards. So,
Or like the Fred movie.
yeah.
Like PewDiePie has to put out a movie now.
Fred
That's what I'm
movie.
saying.
Yeah.
There's
Oh,
a
the
Fred.
Fred. I'm sorry. Yeah, there are multiple. There's like 3 Fred movies.
There's
Yeah.
like 3 different Fred movies on
they all have John
Nickelodeon.
Cena, I think.
But I do think
For
that
some reason, he's a fan.
yeah, I forgot about that.
fan.
He's
He's his dad. Can we talk about that? Can we talk about John Cena being Fred's dad?
But I do think it's interesting that I think like YouTubers always want to do that, right? They always want to capitalize on their fame, and they'll do like a larger project. And I think that the Fred movie was fucking garbage. The
Whoa,
Smosh
what?
movie was
Hold on.
Hold the fucking
Bro,
phone.
You don't like the Fred movie?
all right.
Bro.
The Smosh movie probably was not good. I never watched it.
Fred
I
movie
heard it was bad.
Fred's like, I'm going through like emotional issues, and then his dad comes in and body slams him through a coffee table. It's amazing.
That's not Freddy Get Fingered? Yeah, that's
Could be the
in that
same film.
movie.
Who knows?
And then
Fred got fingered?
Fred got ew no.
It's like, quit being a
Sorry.
pussy. Just
Boarding
breaks
that.
the fucking coffee table. It's fantastic. We got to rush the Fred movie.
This podcast is off the rails.
It's great.
I'm so excited.
But anyway, what I was gonna say is I think
Can't wait
all
to finally start
YouTubers
recording.
fuck off. All YouTubers try to capitalize on their like internet fame at some point, and I think unlike most other YouTubers, Freddie Wong did a fucking fantastic job, and he kept it going for 3 seasons, and it's legitimately good, which is so weird because I feel like unlike the other ones,
But he wasn't making as far of a jump as those people. Like, he wasn't making a full film. And it was still a web series.
but I mean it was a web
I
series,
think
but
the
it's
Hulu stuff was more of a jump. And even then, I wouldn't say that was at all really a success.
but you don't think that like. I mean, I guess it was gradual, but like, I mean, by season 3 of the show,
Oh, for sure.
it's like 30-minute, 35-minute episodes that were, network quality, probably.
Why do you guys think that isn't like a success? YouTubers making the jump to bigger media, because it
'Cause
seems like
usually
these
it
YouTubers,
sucks.
yeah, but
I think
but
end up
then they
having to work
already
with
have
people
like a
who aren't
huge.
YouTubers, and there's just a disconnect between the way they're doing things and the way the film people are usually doing things.
Fair enough.
And
Yeah.
it's usually a lot shorter most of the time. They're not always trying to make movies, but that's so much more of a time span to have to try and.
It was actually funny. Freddie mentioned this at his panel, and somebody asked him.
You should have had
Rocket.
Fred at that panel too. It's like all the
Yeah,
famous
Fred was
Freds.
there. Yeah,
John Cena was there. He
yeah.
body slammed you through a coffee
he
table.
body slammed Freddie Wong
Fred's
through a
gotta get away
table at
from these coffee
MagFest.
tables.
Crazy.
But he talked about he like a guy in the audience mentioned that Rocket Jump I think had a like exclusivity like project deal with Lionsgate.
yeah, because they
And-
did a Kingsman video, and they did some other
Yeah.
videos too.
And he was saying that they were trying to get something off the ground, but that what happened was like he said the thing about people in Hollywood, especially like older people, don't understand audiences because he said like they have like 8 or like over 1 billion views combined. He has like 8 million subscribers, and they're like, what does that mean? And I'm like, I guess it is weird that it's not considered a success, but also I don't think it matters because I think that like currently the feeder system for making a movie is completely different because it's just they look for different things than a web audience does. Because I mean, like the truth is, like if you had to pay for VGHS, would you?
No.
And I think that's the thing is like they nailed monetizing on the platform that they had, but I don't think it would work if it was like I had to go buy tickets to this.
Yeah, that's fair. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense. It's just interesting to me, you know, taking like, I don't know, Rooster Teeth, for example, and being like, looking at things, you know, like all their projects and everything, all their subscribers, and then comparing like Laser Team to like a big budget Hollywood movie that came out around the same time, you know.
Yeah.
It's just like the numbers just wouldn't be the same. But it's like, why? Like they had such a big following, you know.
But I think that, and this is just getting a larger YouTube talk, even though
which is fine. What else are we going to talk about the first 2 episodes?
We're
of
almost done here.
VGHS?
All right.
Tube talk.
But
Tube talk.
But I mean, like Rooster Teeth did. I mean, they broke into in a different way. Like everybody who is into anime now is into RWBY, even though it's traditionally Japanese, traditionally 2D, and then Rooster Teeth undid both of those things, and people still love it.
Yeah.
So they broke into a weird side medium that's also very exclusive and
It was just
killed
a
it.
niche market breaking into another niche market. And these are series too, which is more akin to like doing the stuff they do for web already.
Right.
It's just an expanded version. There's the movies.
Well, because I think series you can gradually improve, right? But like films, like if you're gonna make a high quality 2-hour movie, there's an initial buy-in that you probably can't have. Whereas like, you know, like you can tell like with Video Game High School, season to season, or with RWBY season to season, it gets better and gets more like production value.
But even in this first season, production value is crazy.
It is really good.
It's huge. Was it his biggest project so far? I think
at the time.
Probably,
yeah.
yeah.
But I think you can. I think that's wise because like if you are going to make a movie, you have to immediately buy in with all of your quality. Whereas like you can kind of in web series start and then gradually get better quality.
Yeah. And even the show was half just showing how they made the short, and then it was just a basic, the average length of a normal rocket jump short. They were still doing exactly what
on the Rocket Jump show.
Yeah, on the Rocket Jump show. It was like the exact same thing they were already doing.
It was like Mythbusters, basically.
Yeah, it was kind of the Mythbusters of Hulu.
Well, yeah. It was the Mythbusters.
What a title to have.
It was the Mythbusters of filmmaking, not the Mythbusters of Hulu. Like we're gonna solve Hulu.
Someone needs to finally bust Hulu. I'm fucking sick of this.
Hulu busted.
But yeah, it is partially like one guy with like a camera following around the team as they make a short. And that's kind of like 90% of the show, and then the actual short is like the last section.
Yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, so Video Game High School episode 1, and then
10
some
out of 10.
tangential discussion. It's fantastic.
Hey man, it's not a podcast if there's no tangents.
You're right, and you know
Boom.
what? It's not geometry. There's no tangents.
Great album.
Very true.
We'll see you next week here on.
We're all ready for this.